Welcome back, everybody. If you're a little bit confused about the images on the screen right now, we have a very unfortunate explanation for you, and that is that Rage Quit Esports actually have forfeited their series against Sparta Prime tonight. It is a full 0-3 forfeit. They will fall to 4-17, Sparta Prime will jump up to 14-7, and that series will conclude before it even starts. So we have found a new series for everyone here between New Age Frost and AOE, who have just wrapped up their draft for game number 1. We do see the picks and bans already in here for both sides. The Karma was not banned on red side. It is first picked here for New Age Frost as they go down the list. Karma, Hecarim, Jinx, Nautilus, and Akali into AoE's picks of Gwen, Varus, Thresh, Udyr, and Gnar. Cam, talk to me a little bit about what you see in these drafts, and then we'll get into the stakes, the teams, and a little bit of the players piloting these champions.
Well, this is definitely a very exciting draft, as we do have Gwen locked in, and I'm not so sure about you, but Gwen is definitely basically a pick or ban champion at this point. And at this point, with AOE God Squad being able to pick that up, not even on blue side, but on red side without it being banned away, is going to be so strong. I do like that New Age Frost did ban that Viego, but banning that and not banning Gwen, especially on blue side, is a little bit interesting, as now you've given away what is largely considered the best top laner of the game right now.
Yeah, and don't even think it's going top lane, Cam. I think it's ending up in the mid lane here, but I don't care where Gwen. I was going to say, I don't care where it ends up. I've had this conversation with so many people. I do not understand experimenting with Gwen as a pick. I think that thing should be banned, and only banned all the time. Like, it is way too strong, and I have not seen a good enough answer to it thus far. People do believe that the Akali is the answer, can get in range of that W, can get down the 5-point strike, and execute the Gwen before she stacks up all that damage. I haven't seen it really work that well just yet. I think Gwen is just busted. I don't think you should be playing around with this fire, but hey, New Age is gonna play around with the fire here as they hand it over to Runeweaver on the side of AOE, and that's where we will get into some of the exciting parts of this Gwen. Is that Runeweaver really good at mages. He's really strong mechanically mid laner. They've handed this Gwen over to him, and they have also handed Melscout, who is the shot caller, who is the tempo keeper here for AOE, this Udyr. Yes, it has not been as good as it was in the past, but it's up against Hecarim, which is a tried and true matchup, and it is a favorite here of Melscout's for this jungle position.
Yeah, I mean, Hecarim and Udyr are these staple champions that we've seen throughout Season 10 and Season 11, largely just being because of how strong they have been with those new reworked items. And now getting to see that again almost reminds me of those early times in Season 11, where I haven't gotten to see this matchup in quite a few months now. So it is interesting to see how it has evolved with all those Hecarim nerfs, and then Udyr a little bit nerfed, but not as nerfed. And then on the other side, though, I want to talk about this bot lane matchup, as we do have a Jinx for the side of New Age Frost, and that is not a pick that I get to see a whole lot either, especially just because of how easy it is to one-shot her. But if you don't one-shot her, very similar to a Kog'Maw, she's going to wreck your backline.
Yeah, she will absolutely wreck your backline. Jinx can just take over games later on whenever you get a reset on a kill, and I do like the fact that the Hecarim and Akali are next to this Jinx, because you need someone else to dish out the damage to get you revved up, to get that reset and take over the fight. And we have seen Arraymate take over fights before. It hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows for certain for New Age Frost in some of their team fighting, in some of their laning phases, but when Array can get to that late game scaling condition, usually he can play it out very well. Positioning, one of his stronger points as an AD carry, and Jinx is a champion that requires good positioning to get that reset and take over a fight. So I like what they picked for him here. He's very good at the champion. He's very good at positioning. He has the support of the Karma and the extra damage. The composition looks good for New Age here. My big question is, will it be enough to overcome this AOE squad, who, while they've been a little disorganized, had a lot of things going on throughout the season, the roster coalescing just a couple of weeks ago, these players are all extremely mechanically talented, and they are sort of operating as the gatekeepers here to playoffs, and I don't even think they'll stick around that for too long. They're currently sitting in the standings at 9 and 10 at the moment here. right above Gamers Forgot and New Age Frost, who are tied for the final playoff position. Those are the stakes for these two teams. These games are critical for both sides, but AOE started the season with an 0-3 forfeit when they were Orbital Void, and they have climbed steadily up the table since then after their roster came together. So I am actually pretty interested to see if New Age Frost can pilot this composition over the top of AOE, who I think will be the favorites going into the series tonight.
I mean, like you're saying, it's not really it is make or break for both of these teams, as if there is a solid 3-0 from either team here tonight, that's going to secure that team spot in the playoff spot, or not really 100% secure it, but secure it pretty strongly, especially against the opposing team, who, if they do get 0-3 tonight, that just makes it very, very hard for these last 2 weeks, as it is going to make it, especially depending on their matchups, just seeing where they land in that standings on the spot, as they are so close, but both sitting at that 5th and 6th place. It's just hard to see who is going to take that final spot.
Yeah, and we'll have to see who does it here as we are ticking down towards Champion Select. Again, we apologize for all the chaos that has been going on in the pre-show, the build-up to these games, but we are excited to bring you this series between New Age Frost, once again sitting at 8 and 11, I believe, while AOE sits at 9 and 10, both right on the bubble of playoff positions. A critical matchup between both will kick off here in just a couple of minutes with our casters, RMC and Necrox, who will take you through the series.
Hello everyone and welcome to Summoner's Rift. Despite some last minute issues, we have found our way into game 1 between New Age Frost and AOE God Squad, a battle for the playoffs. I am joined by RMC to bring you the action and break down every small detail in between. And to start off, in the mid lane, Abadage has found his way into Heavy League. It's Grasp Karma. No more freedom for this mid laner. Also, some changes here, to be honest, that I was not expecting for New Age Frost.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some subs on both teams really here on the blue side for New Age Frost. As you mentioned, Rio isn't here tonight, and instead they've got Discount Abadage here, Bushi, coming in instead. Array also not in the AD carry position, and it's Kog'Maw coming in playing a Jinx. That's definitely not going to mess us up too much. And on the red side here for AOE God Squad, switch up in their supports, I believe. Kenny Masterlin, I believe, is also a substitute coming in. So lots of changes here. And frankly, I don't know how much that matters when Gwen somehow, as pointed out on the analyst desk, got through draft and got picked on red side.
And then got sent into mid lane instead of going top. So who knows what Rune Weaver can do on the champion. Obviously super exciting to watch those scissors go to work, especially once a couple items come through. Against Jakarma though, don't expect all too much from it. But what I do expect a lot from, and where my expectations are for this game, is exactly here. Paxax in the bot lane. He's going tempo on the Varus in this game. So no more that on hit throw Qs from 2 screens away and chunk out your enemy for half their HP. This time he's up close, he's personal, building that attack speed, really trying to dish out the late game DPS.
Yeah, and right away, level 2 hook landed.
There we go. Chaser can't find the initial dredge line as well. Kog'Maw is going to be burned down by the ignite. Chaser taking a lot of damage on the back end. Paxax maybe looking to get first blood, and expectations are succeeded, my friend.
The heal from Kog'Maw came out a second too late there. You got to use it proactively. Yes, there's a night ticking down, but that's still going to cost you. And, you know, in the pre-game here, while we were waiting to load on the Rift, while the teams were paused here, DJ from the analyst desk was filling us in that, hey, watch Paxax. They didn't have time to talk about him on the analyst desk, but this guy's got nutty numbers, farms up 1v9. Forget farming. He's going to dominate the lane right off the bat.
You guys didn't think we had prep for this game? It was scripted all along. AOE God Squad getting themselves first blood in Summoner's Rift. New Age Frost lose out in the bot lane, so they will have to now deal with this power spike that will come in from a first blood eventually when Paxax begins to base. But H-King is not headed down here to reinforce his bot side. Meanwhile, Mel Scout is clearing down towards this bottom crab, so should be a trade for these two junglers as Potato wants to get involved, trying to look around this topside scuttle, see what he can get done, but shouldn't be able to steal this one away. As, yeah, H-King able to secure that one, no problem. Mel Scout, though, looking for this play bot side, sitting in that try.
He had a ward down, so they should have known there was nothing there, but the hook doesn't land.
Ooh, hook doesn't land. Chaser having to use the hook on the wall to get himself away. Mel Scout, Bear Slap not available. Kog'Maw going low, half HP for both members here from New Age Frost. No one will die, but health bars expended and lots of danger now here in bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, Flash still available for Kog'Maw down here, so as long as you can dodge those arrows, you should be fine, but not doing too well topside. Potato Head.
Potato should be just fine to retreat back under his turret. Takes a little bit of damage, but the ganks, man, they're just going the way of AOE, and they're all headed bot lane. As H-King tries to make something happen there on top side. But Paxax and Kenny, yeah, this is domination. They're already going to be in to get plates, and Chaser just can't find those hooks, man.
I'm not sure he wants to. I think that might have killed him there if that did land. And, you know, Camcom was saying they haven't seen this Udyr Hecarim matchup in a hot minute here. Well, you are now. And right now, it's just heavy ganking. If they don't start on the same side of the map, this is what happens here. You are going to see mismatched sides, but ganks all the same. Now, Mel Scout is top. Will be able to protect Potato Head a little bit here in the top side. Make sure that they don't fall down too hard against this Akali. But Akali is a counter pick against the Gnar here. You do get to disengage when Gnar goes mega, and when they're mini, you can punish here. If they do end up rotating the Akali mid against the Gwen, that works pretty well for the Akali as well. So a lot of eyes for me are on Potato Senpai to try and redeem that 101 deaths and start putting up some kill numbers under that record as well.
That was shocking. 100 deaths in what? How many games is what, week 7 or 8 now in the Heavy League? And 100 deaths times 3 games a week. That's a little much for my taste. Topside, just tell them to play safe under your turret, Potato. It can't be that difficult, right? They're not just gonna dive you on repeat. AOEGS, meanwhile, in the jungle, someone who is not new to New Age Frost, has been here for quite a while, likes to get involved nice and early. You could see that the early gank topside, Mel Scout having a little bit more success so far on the Udyr, simply able to outpace. But I mean, AOEGS is known for his early game involvement. You know, the Jarvans, the level 2s. Here we go. Flay on bot side. Both junglers showing up. Chaser first one to drop. Kog'Maw having to flash away as well. AOEGS to be stunned up and taken down. Flash auto from Paxax. Double kill the Vars. And they pierce the heart of New Age Frost.
And you could see right there, Necrox, the junglers both pathing to that bot side because Melscout has caught up, and you're going to see a lot of these mirror matchups. And this bot side right now, this is AOE's home ground for New Age Frost. You can no longer gank this bot lane unless you're level 6 on both your support and your jungler, and you're sure that Melscout isn't there. No.
Oh,
just
man.
No.
Thresh #1, pick an excellency.
Yeah.
That is exactly why.
Oh my goodness, that's brutal. And while that was happening, Melscout was just soloing the dragon there. Had no worries, did pick that up. Mountain Drake to start, not hugely influential in lane there, but you know what, it will be nice, especially if we do start seeing dives come through from Potato Head, from Melscout here. AOEGS looking top.
Potato flashing forward along with the jungler's assistance. Potato should not have an easy way out of this one. Yeah, perfect execution will take him down. So a nice return from New Age Frost as they grab themselves their first kill.
Necrox, I just realized Potato Head's running Hex Slash. That's not normal for Nars, and I'm really not sure why you necessarily want to do that. The window of opportunity for Mega is pretty small. While we say that, Rune Weaver just snipping away here, and usually Gwen starts to get the power spike when they start getting that first item, 1.5 items. Right now, Rune Weaver already starting to trade pretty well.
If this hook lands, oh, it's onto a minion. Kog'Maw, no, it doesn't even matter. He's dead regardless. Good God, man. Bot lane, I'm not sure you could ask for a worse start. Rune Weaver now looking for the 1v1, but it's not going to be a 1v1 for very long. Here comes a pony charging forward. Rune Weaver, man, those scissors do damage, but a flash away will keep the enemy mid laner safe, and AOEGS will clean up the kill. #2 to New Age Frost. Hook into the turret from Chaser will get Paxax low, but not dead. New Age Frost finding some more angles to come back into this game.
And they're not done on the top side there. You can see that they're invading in there, looking for action, but bot side might be the first kill.
Chaser, one more auto. What? Man, what is going on down here? 6-0-0, by the way. God Squad and Paxax in particular are just running over this bot lane. What are they doing? I mean, do you want to go against a lethal tempo Varus this fed? I'm pretty sure the answer is absolutely not, but they're just running it down into him, to be honest, RMC.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the way Varus works is usually we see either Hill of Blades. If you want that early lane control, we do see the Comet come through, or the Dark Harvest there if you're looking for the poke lethality. Varus and Lethal Tempo is specific to a more skilling AD carry Varus build where you get a couple items and then in team fights you're trying to apply the autos to as many people as possible before you pop it. If you're already 6-0, Necrox, 6-0 at 9 minutes, that's a kill every minute and a half. You just dominate that, and you don't need to wait to scale.
Trying to find something back at the top side. Chaser was looking for an engage, but an ice box will force a disengage away from Kenny Master. So well done there. You can see the gold there, more than double that of Kog'Maw. So not able to find any damage at all is this Jinx for now, sitting on some boots to get around a little bit quicker, throw around a couple more autos, a Cull, and a D-Blade. Meanwhile, Paxax has an entire mythic item. His Kraken Slayer is completed, plus every part of the boots other than the completed item itself. God Squad's bot lane are just dismantling New Age Frost, and it's not even supposed to be the lane bully Varus. Yes, you take the Thresh for the lane threat. It is much better in the early skirmishes than it is in late game team fights, but it's just not enough to give away this much damage. And meanwhile, mid lane, Rune Weaver's probably going to go down here, throws out a couple more scissors, but not enough with the ulti. Rune Weaver will fall for the second time. Now Mel Scout on the run as well. The bear is pretty fast, and Chaser That hook went to Antarctica, and now
But they're
Melscout
bot side
wants
now.
the crab. We're going to fight over crab for absolutely no reason. Melscout could have ran away, but instead he's going to force a TP for the
Potatoes
teammate as
mega.
well. The bot lane is now roaming up. Paxax putting in a couple more autos. Here comes the Mega Gnar into the wall. Not able to find multiple targets, but the stun will find two. Paxax is going to grab kill number one, and this is a fiesta where we're getting blood spilled absolutely everywhere, but it's all New Age
don't win
Frost.
this.
It's no kills return. Finally, the Jinx Death Rocket will find one. Paxax will give his shutdown over, but AOE God Squad find four on the other side.
And it looked so bad to start for AOE God Squad there. The fact that Runeweaver on this Gwen, I mean, we've seen Runeweaver play before, likes to play really aggressive, but you can't be that far out. And here we go. Here's the replay of Melscout getting caught out. And you think they're done. The bot side, Paxax and Kenny, were so far away. But this is still that 6-0 Varus that can take over games. And when the TP comes in with the Mega Gnar, so well played, tide's turn. And at the end of it here, when they go for Kog'Maw, watch this rocket, because I feel a little bit bad about how this goes here. You can't body block it. They didn't. Melscout just barely kind of stepped forward, went behind. If Melscout took it, everybody walks out alive. That would have been a clean, what was that, 4-4-0? But as it stands, they do get the shutdown gold, and they do get it onto Kog'Maw.
Yeah, that's the most important person as of now to get it on as well. That is your late game insurance and the Jinx, the range, the safety, the high DPS. But now you need to be careful about mid lane because Paxax has been unlocked. He can roam anywhere he wants. And he's determined that mid lane was the place to be. Will not find the kill. She should be fine to just walk away, but with Dragon available, I'm not sure that New Age Frost really want to contest this, but they are on this side of the map. I just don't think you have enough gold in your pockets just quite yet, RMC. They want it.
Yeah, I don't know if they can get it. They're not. So right now, AOE right now, they're in a good position to fight this team fight here. Their ults are up for the most part here, but I don't know. Okay, it's the TP mismatch right now.
Yeah,
Potato hit's not there. They don't have the numbers. They're going to back off. I honestly feel like they could win this 4v5 with Paxax right now. And just giving this up, I don't know if this is the right call.
Yeah, I mean, they move Potato over to trying to get the Drake. They end up getting it, but they end up burning Bushi's TP to go collect the wave topside. So actually pretty good stuff for New Age Frost, just to expend the 1 TP for Drake. That's probably a worthy trade, but AOE God Squad, maybe a little sleep at the wheel, giving a little too much more than they like. Now, little skirmish in the topside river. Runeweaver looking for the 1v1. There's the Onslaught of Shadows to fear up Runeweaver, but the clockwork, man, on these scissors, it just hurts so much. Runeweaver trying to get away, but Kog'Maw downtown snipe with the super mega death rocket, and now Potato's on the run, but he cannot get far away enough. That Naruto run looks good from Potato, and he picks up kill number 2.
Potato, not the same here. Potato took offense at the stat that we pulled up there, and he's definitely turning things around. 2-1-2 right now, and for all that Paxax and Kenny are really far ahead, they're losing control on the other side of the map right now. Gwen, 0-3-0 for Runeweaver, and each and every single time we've seen Runeweaver get picked, he's up really aggressively here. The team's been able to take advantage of every one of those deaths by finding kills, by finding turrets on the other side of the map, but that's still not something you want to be consistently giving up here. So I want to see Runeweaver play a bit more carefully now that bot lane's turret down. Paxax, Kenny, roam, maybe you swap the lanes. You send Runeweaver bot instead, and you let Paxax and Kenny siege up the mid lane.
Here they go into mid as well. Potato's trying to defend his best. Sure can flip out. Hook lands, though. That's great stuff. There's the Shades of Corruption. And Potato is one shot in mid lane as this man don't miss on the Thresh.
They might find the
Now
engage,
they get
though.
the Dredge line. Here comes H-King as well. Has no ulti, but they're still going to find the Insect onto the 80 carry. Paxax going to burn down to Ignite. And it's Bushi to get it. Melscout's on the run, but he's on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift. Melscout, be careful. Your team is not here. You are dead. Try not to give this one away to the wrong target. H-King grabs it. That's fine for New Age Frost. And AOE God Squad RMZ, I have a feeling that they might not be too comfortable in the position they're at now.
You know what? I think AOE God Squad right now, they're still in the lead significantly. They just need to clean this up a little bit right now. They're over chasing. Paxax might be 10-2-1. My goodness, I just realized he's double digits in kills, but he's still a squishy AD carry, and you can see that H-King can find ways of getting in. Runeweaver, very, very far extended. Okay, he's safe for now.
He's all right. He's out. AOEGS looking to do some counter jungling here. Does he get it? Yes, he does. But what cost are you going to die for it? AOEGS, please run away, my friend. Use the ulti if you have to. And now it's Chaser's turn to pay the price. He has no flash. He just has to walk back into the enemy team. And man, it feels bad to play support. Your jungler got caught out, and you have to die for it. AOE God Squad grab just one more to tack onto their tally.
Yeah, they do get red buff, but they're going to lose Herald for it here. Not exactly a worthwhile trade. And you know what, Chaser, great job right there. Because no matter what, somebody's going to die there. Better you than AOEGS, who is, I think right now, actually the main win con for New Age Frost in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Can AOEGS find Paxax? And AOEGS has been finding these kills, these engages, without the Divine Sunderer. Now that that item has been picked up here, expect to see Paxax get absolutely nuked out at the beginning of fights, and if not, then AOE wins those.
All right, well, keeping our eyes on the bottom lane, and for now, Runeweaver really not doing all too much on this Gwen, just trying to hit the first item. Power Spike, Potato going for a little bit of a trade. Here comes the TP, though. Potato needs to run, as it wants to be Potato that responds. Here we go, full on engage in the top side. Paxax will get 2, and it wasn't even close, RMC. They don't get anyone low. And New Age Frost, they try to go for a play, but they just fall over.
And that was just beautiful setup there from the side of AOE God Squad. You drop the Herald, you're baiting with a low health Nard. What? Where did Chaser? Why?
Whoa, PayPal confirmed. Chaser looks down at his phone, grins a little bit, sees the account transfer went through, and said, 300 gold, a small price to pay.
I can't even break that down. I'll continue breaking down what happened before that, because there was no reason for Chaser to be there when you just saw 2 people get nuked. Yeah, so they pulled Potato, the TP up. That was all bait. And Kenny or Paxax and Melscout all came from behind, so they were caught between a Meganar and the rest of the team there. So really, really well played. The coordination there is strong. I personally am not a huge fan of Gnar because teams often struggle to play around that rage bar. Potato Head has been absolutely perfect on that rage bar so far. Now, Dragon coming up as we speak here, and I don't think last time we had to give it up. This time, they've got all their members there on the right side of the map here. Rage bar halfway stacked. They're good to go for another big team fight.
Yeah, Bushi has TP as well. He's going to finally commit to this one, but Kokma's a little far away. Hook's going to find the front line. Here comes the engage. Flay. Chaser's going low. Has to pop the lock and nice box, but here's the engage in the back line. AOEGS found his way to Paxax. He can't do enough damage for now, but they just turned right back onto the Hecarim and one-shot him. 2 for nothing so far for God Squad. New Age on the run, as this fight did not go the way they wanted. Hop forward from Potato, trying to find the engage. Flash away from Bushi. Potato trying to pull out the damage with a 5-point strike. Nice shuriken flip will find the front line. They get enough damage into Melscout. No, he'll walk away. This Udyr's too tanky. Potato throwing a couple more rocks at the wall. AOE still find the fight. They find the Drake, and now it's time to siege mid.
Rocket!
Rocket! Nice shot!
That was blind as well. I don't think there was a ward that actually spotted out Melscout. Yeah, they saw Melscout walking away from the minions, but beautiful snipe to try and find something out of a really, really rough position right now. And I want to point out Kog'Maw's items at this point, because we are still looking at a 22 stack cull. That cull is still not completed. And you can't afford to be that far behind until we see that second item come through for this Jinx. They are not going to be able to win any fights. They're picking on Runeweaver again. No ult for Hecarim.
Yeah, you can't really do that as well. The Hallowed Mist makes it really difficult to play this mid-range on the Akali. If you don't space it correctly, you get literally 0 damage. Your passive doesn't get stacked as well. So Runeweaver, yes, he's been picked on a lot. Yeah, he's kind of fallen behind tempo here, especially when you look at how far ahead tempo Paxax is. It doesn't matter though. Runeweaver isn't the carry that you need. AOEGS tried to get into the back line last fight, RMC, but the follow-up just was not there. Potato couldn't find the angle, and AOE God Squad, if Paxax is alive, the fight is doomed.
Yeah, 100%. And on top of that, it's also, how is AOEGS gonna find a good way in? I was expecting, you go in with the Onslaught of Shadows, you instantly follow up, you pop Paxax. Paxax didn't even have to blow the summoners there on AOEGS. It was the hook coming out from Kenny instantly backwards to lock him up. And in that amount of time, sure, you've got a Divine Sunderer, you've got damage. You're not tanky enough to deal with this Paxax. 3 completed items, Infinity Edge, Kraken Slayer. and PD here. Forget that lethal tempo. You could have gone whatever rune you wanted, and if you're this far ahead at this point in the game, 15 kills at 20 minutes, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I'm not sure that any sort of engage onto Paxax matters at this point, to be honest. He's just so strong. If he can kite out, there's no way that even with the dive comp that New Age Frost have built for themselves can find the right angle to approach. It's going to require a miracle. And when you're talking about miracle work, when you're talking about unlikely odds, you have to look at the main man here on Age King. He has come up time and time again in the early game, but now we need to see it late time. You need to see some sort of shutdown put on to Paxax to grab this game, some sort of pick, playing around vision. And I'm not sure that they have that, trying maybe to think about a bot side approach, but Potato Head knows that that could be a possibility. He'll back off as AOE God Squad continue to put on the pressure in these side lanes.
And Necrox, I'm so glad you brought up vision, because right now, if we look at the vision on the screen, it's very red for AOE. They've got full control in the river around the objectives. And for New Age Frost, you're not going to be fighting for the objectives. You did manage to sneak away that Ocean Drake, so they're not at soul point yet. You just need enough vision to stop them taking Baron. And I want to see them farm up for now, get that 2-item power spike for Kog'Maw here on this Jinx. And for Potato, I want to see Potato the next fight dive with Age King here. You can stop one person, but I think Potato might be able to handle Paxax if they can actually reach them in the next fight.
Yeah, I mean, the question is just, can he do what he did last fight? Initiate the fight, make sure the front line can't dive immediately, and Kenny's been really good on this Thresh so far, so always eyes on him as well to keep the AD carry safe and what he could do as a sub for the AOE lineup tonight. And as we approach what could be a game-determining fight, again, whoever wins this fight, whether New Age Frost can test or not, that's a different option. But if they do, always could turn into Baron, always turn into more. Traps go down on to Mouse Scout and crew, but Potato is not giving up any pressure on the side lane. 40 seconds RMC, and it looks like New Age Frost are thinking about a contest.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to full commit to this. Just poke them down. You're fine. You've got the karma and kite back. We saw in the last fight, they can kite back, but not like this.
Hook over the wall, finds Bushi. He's going to go low. He's going to go down. Paxax grabbing kill number 1, and here's the rest of the onslaught. Age King having to use the ulti to get away. Hook again, finds the mark. Man, the guy don't miss it. Kenny Master Lin truly puts on a clinic on how to play Thresh. Rune Reaver will fall as the tower does as well. 2 for 1 so far in the favor of AOE. They find their fight, and now it's time to pull back to the Drake.
Okay, yep, there's no more poke shots for New Age Frost here. You've just got to give that up, and maybe you shove out the lanes right now, try and re-establish some sort of vision here in the lanes. You're looking at Baron now as your next major objective, and you cannot afford to get picked off like that. You know at this point, they've seen it enough times that AOE likes to set up vision around their next objective here, so you need to try and maintain control in your jungle so you don't see this pick off happen again.
Okay, they're looking for a play on bot side. Chaser's headed down here. Potato has the ulti and Flash. Has TP as well if they need it on Bushi, who could join this one. Flash hook attempt from Chaser will find nothing. That is a 5-minute cooldown. I love the attempt there, RMC, from New Age Frost. Sadly, it comes up just a little bit short. They'll lose soul point, and now New Age Frost, really no more room for error.
Yeah, New Age Frost, they're looking at 2 major initiation tools. If they're not up, you can't fight. And one is the Onslaught of Shadows for Age King. The other is the Depth Charge coming through from Chaser on this Nautilus here. If you don't have it, you can't engage. And if you chase after this Varus, who's got that Thresh here to give him that Lantern out, we've seen the chunk that Paxax puts down. It's only getting worse as we go along. But the opposite's kind of true as well. AOE have struggled to really engage if they can't find a hook here. And so that's what I want to see New Age Frost play around. Kite back with that karma right now, with that movement speed, with that shield. Land the poke first, and then when you're ready, when your ults are up and you find a potential member to single out or a carry like Rune Weaver stepping out a little bit too far, then you turn on them.
Runeweaver is bot side right now. The TP does take some time to channel. New Age Frost could play around that as well. They should know he has TP available. But again, you can initiate a fight and find someone, blow them up before the TP can assist. We'll see, though, if New Age Frost really feel themselves and try to approach that way. Bushi's going to use the Shirley's. Maybe this is their time. Rune Weaver will have that TP. Hook lands on the front line once again. Age King's going to be taken out immediately. Paxax, man. This guy is just too damn fed. Chaser falls. Double kill already. Super Mega Death Rocket will not find the mark. And triple kill. Easy as you like. God Squad see the play coming. They read it. They turn it. Now it's time for the Baron. New Age Frost falter. And AOE God Squad bloom to life.
That felt a little like desperation there, Necrox, to me. I mean, they had a numbers advantage. They knew that. They had vision on Potato Head, and they had vision here on Rune Weaver. So they knew it was a 4v3. But where was the onslaught of shadows? The depth charge came out late, and if you don't have Potato, I don't think you win those because you don't have the burst. You could see Paxax didn't even take damage, and after it's all said and done, AOE picked themselves up in uncontested free Baron when they're already more than 10k ahead now, and they get to push in and siege in on these inhibitor turrets.
And pushing for playoffs, both of these teams. This would be the time to prove yourself. Potato looking to do that against Potato. See if they can find the kill. Perfect execution is used. Mega comes out. No, into the wall. No way he gets one in a 1v3. Trades it back top for mid laner. They get one Baron buff RMC, but that's still 4 members ready to siege up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big burn buff because that is one of your split pushers here. So Potato won't be able to go off and do that 1-4 split push, and Rune Weaver doesn't have teleport available. But they just need to group up, and AOE can just brute forces even under a turret. Actually, turret might be a little risky. Kokmal has now picked up the Rudance Hurricane here, so on that 2-item power spike. Yes, we're not comparing it to Paxax, who's on a 4-item power spike, 4.5 items. We're just looking at how much damage Kokmal can put out on this Jinx, and it is a lot. So the dive might go a little sideways if you mess it up. So yeah, AOE, take it slow. Take all the outer turrets first and wait for Potato Head to rejoin you. Then maybe look for an inhibitor.
All right, I want to mess up the timeline here before we go into our final engage, or what could be. Are we getting a Varus ban next game, RNC? Is this allowed back on the table for Paxax?
Potentially. Honestly, I think it's partially the way it played, and I think the Thresh is worth a bigger ban.
All right, well, Chaser... that's one more death. That's 8 now. He's looking to challenge the most deaths in top lane for Potato Senpai. And yeah, he's got 8 to tally onto that list. It's looking like a lot here to deal with for New Age Frost in game number 1. Really, you just have to look forward to game 2. Hopefully something changes. Maybe your bot lane can put up more of a fight. But this one is all but done. But they're crying. RMC, they grab 2 inhibitors. They'll pull away, channel those recalls, and look for one more desperation attempt around Infernal Soul.
Yeah, honestly, for the side of AOE God Squad, they don't even have to go for that soul. They can just bum rush that top lane here. And if New Age Frost and anybody to go for that dragon, you just brute force it, end the game. But yeah, they are going to play by the numbers here. They have supers pushing bot and mid, so it's actually on New Age Frost to try and force this as quickly as you can, or watch as your base gets taken down by my brothers.
I know Paxax is really fed, but Rune Weaver got his 2 items, baby. He's going to snip a lot of hearts away out of New Age Frost if he gets the chance. I want to see this Gwen go wild in the mid lane. Should have a 100% win rate after this one on RMC. Those stats don't lie. It's got to be broken. New Age Frost, though, looking for a steal over the wall, potentially. Nice hook, going to find the way. And Chaser going to go down in just a second if they can find the damage. Age King trying to walk away. The Chains of Corruption do not land from Paxax. All the CC has been expended, but one more hook. Age King into the back. He's going to find a 4-man onslaught of shadows. He's got a lot of fear, but how much damage can they do? Nora into the wall is going to find 3, and the AOE damage from the scissors just cut through the health bars of New Age Frost. It looked good for a second, but the wallets are fat, and Paxax, man, the guy will DPS you down. Quadra kill to ORB Paxax for AOE. They'll end this game 1 in style.
Ooh boy, Necrox, Paxax don't crack. That's 23, 2, and 5 on this Varus here. And he looked absolutely amazing, just completely uncontested. And you asked me, do you ban the Varus? Just for the psychological component, I almost want to say yes. But let's look at Kenny as well. 1-0 and 26, deathless on this Thresh. And a large chunk of the reason why Paxax looks so good is because of that Thresh in lane. Those hooks were really what kicked it off. First Blood was the hook onto Cogsmaw's Jinx there. So if anything, really, you take that Thresh for yourself. And going into game 2, AOE is going to be on blue side. So for New Age Frost, you don't get a chance to even pick up that Thresh unless maybe you leave that Gwen up again? Because Runeweaver, 1, 4, and 7, honestly, looked probably the shakiest on this team on that supposedly overpowered pick.
You know there's something wrong when you gotta contemplate leaving up Gwen to get the Thresh. The Thresh or the Varus. Either one. Really, you have to think about Thresh #1 pick here in Excellency if you weren't around for the pre-show. But who knows? Maybe things will change in Game 2. That one was just demolition and a derby for the side. And we'll see what our analysts have to say as well, as we're going to throw it over to them right now as they get to break down Game 1.
Welcome back to the analyst desk, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, DJ joined by Camcom here. And Cam, we were having a little bit of fun watching this game. More so watching this game devolve from a game into an absolute slaughter. And I think the name of the game has to be bottom lane, where you were calling out what you thought was the difference there between these two bottom lanes.
Yeah, in draft, I was calling out the other way around. I was thinking that the Jinx was going to be the one to pop off, but boy, was I wrong in that game.
Yeah, that went south really, really quick for the bottom lane of New Age Frost. Paxax ending the game with 23 kills. Don't call him Mike or anything. An insane score line there. A lot of that, of course, propped up and set up by the support, Kenny Masterlin, on that Thresh, and start to finish just absolutely lethal. There was a brief sort of 3-minute period there in the early mid game when AOE was kind of goofing around, making some bad plays, but they knew behind Paxax there was just no way they were going to lose. This man's been insane at CSing at laning all season long, and he does it once again, leading AOE to an early Game 1 victory. And again, Cam, we talked about the stakes are high for this match. These are two teams fighting for playoff spots here in and around the bubble. And AOE makes a huge statement there in Game 1 because New Age was nowhere close.
It was just such a strong snowball off that very first hook landing by that Thresh, which, by the way, that hook did not look like it landed. You can watch that replay as much as you want. I'm pretty sure that hook was nowhere near Nautilus, but it somehow landed, and that hook literally changed the game just to be entirely in favor of AOE. Yes, that Jinx did pick up a few really nice shutdowns during the mid-game with that nice rocket, but in the end, it did not matter, as she was not anywhere near close to Varus's, I believe, ending 20-2.
Yeah, it was, just a nuts game from Paxax. I don't know if he was watching the pre-show or anything, but we were showing that he wasn't quite at the top of the kill list there. It was Donut Maker. Paxax has not played as many games as the rest of the players that were on that list, and he was at 112 going into the day. Well, that is 135 now, so he is closing the gap here, making a shot at that highest KDA as well, potentially. But we do got to talk big picture here. We had our casters ask for a couple things from New Age Frost because they have got to turn this around really, really quickly. They cannot afford to go 0-3 in this series. They've already lost one game because they're tied with Gamers for God coming into the day for that final playoff spot right behind AOE. And if you go 0-3 against a team that is right around you in the standings, on the bubble, you are asking for trouble. And New Age was a playoff team last year. They expect to make it into the playoffs once again and be a big time threat with their very aggressive, typically early game skirmishing style. And an 0-3 is not going to help with those hopes, Cam.
No, absolutely not. If this series does continue going how we did see in Game 1, then this is not going to be looking so good for our New Ages. Like you're saying, they're both sitting right on that 5th and 6th standings right now. So this is definitely going to be deciding who gets that last playoff spot, assuming that Gamers for God does not also go 3-0 or 0-3, hoping they go a little bit more even in their series tonight.
Yeah, and speaking of the series around the league here, we can update you on a couple. Glaive Esports Onyx did take game number 1 against YO Boomers in their series, who flashed that fight. Also closed out LBK Lemon in game number 1, but we are still waiting on some results from the other series. Of course, we already know the result of 1, our featured matchup there, Rage Quit FFing against Sparta Prime, all 3 games over to Sparta Prime. So just waiting to hear back from the Lotus Gamers for God series, which is sort of the important series. Again here, Gamers for God and New Age are the ones on that playoff bubble, with AOE now trying to pull away in this series. But we heard a couple of things from the casters, a couple of recommendations, Cam. So do want to ask you in particular, what do you think New Age should be looking to do as they go into Game 2 to alleviate some of the pressure in draft that they brought upon themselves?
Well, I'm definitely looking towards that Hecarim pick. I'm not a big fan of Hecarim. I've heard quite a few of the other casters around here are not as well. It's just, he's been hit with that nerf hammer far too many times in these recent patches. Yes, he has been buffed a few times, but I don't think that has really made up for the lack of power that he's been seeing. So I'm hoping for one of those more newer, I don't want to say really newer, but more of those more currently meta junglers, such as that Rumble, the Udyr, even that Xin Zhao or the Zac that I was mentioning earlier is just going to be a lot stronger and take off, like you're saying, that pressure that they need to try and find this win. As we got to see in Game 1, if you do give AOE a lead early on, even if it's just through one hook, they can very easily close out with such a strong bot lane.
Yeah, they certainly can, and actually are getting some good news here for New Age Frost after that very rough Game 1. Their starting mid laner is back for Game 2. We saw Bushi playing on that Karma in Game number 1. Reopkers is the normal mid laner. He is back and available for Game 2, and Rio has been one of New Age's best players throughout the split. They love getting him on some sort of AD or AP assassin, letting him go off in the early game and try to net them wins. Yes, I know that's not meta. I know that's not the way the game is played at LCS and Academy, but this is Heavy League, and you've got to have a style. You've got to have something to play around, and we know what New Age's style is. They have been an early game team all season long, and now they've got their talisman back in the mid lane here to try to turn this series around, Cam. So does that change your calculus for draft a little bit? Do you want to see New Age try to prioritize Rio and get him this counter pick as they head over to red side?
Well, definitely having any counter pick on red is going to be useful, as I don't usually focus on counter picks. I usually focus more on the who can you take away from your team. And on this side, AOE having blue pick now, we do get to see that ADC presence that we saw in last game, but now hopefully with something more along the lines of Ezreal or even another Varus would just be so strong for AOE. As yes, they do have that counter pick availability on New Age Frost, but seeing how it is just so hard to find those counter picks, if it's not Gwen or Viego, if they are both banned away in this game too tonight, that it could definitely be a lot harder to find for them.
Yeah, definitely could be a little bit harder. Still waiting in the wings here for draft to get started. We've heard a couple of recommendations from both our casters and now Cam for this Game 2 draft here from New Age. But honestly, despite I think some of the deficiencies in draft, a lot of it's just going to come down to execution, Cam. So when you are coming off that sort of big wipe of a victory, how are you looking to go into Game 2? What are you, if you are sort of coaching or shot calling for this team? Is that a clean wipe? Do you want to just go in and pretend like this is game number 1? Or, are there any learnings to take from that game?